right, and now to say a few words, you gotta give her a big round of applause for putting all this together. Kenn's wife, Crystal!
Having a good time? I want to thank you all for coming. Kenn asked why it's such a big party, and one serious thing, he asked why it's such a big party, and at first I had to stop and think, we had to say thank you to all of you for coming and supporting us for the last couple of years, especially with the prayer and getting Kenn back to where he is, 100%, 110%. I think I see a younger man than I've ever seen. It's kind of funny, we were talking, do we want a second child? We got to think about this. Caden's now 3. And as we're having this conversation, we're opening the mail and in comes his AARP card. That's a true story. So as we're thinking about having a second child, there comes the card. So we can get discounts on meals and eat at 4 o'clock like our child when he goes to bed. Everybody kept talking about all these nice things about Kenn, and the brothers had this golf outing today, and they all went out and played golf, and I kept thinking, what a great guy. Nobody could say anything bad about Kenn, but as I was telling the brothers this story, I thought this is a good one to tell on the mic. I've never seen Kenn in 8 years ever say anything belligerent, rude, mean to anybody. Really, I haven't ever seen him get into a fight or say something really derogatory to any stranger. But Kenn was trying to teach me how to play golf a couple years ago, and we were out on the golf course. Okay, a couple of you know the story. And that wasn't the part that made him rude. It was me learning how to play golf. I'm on, I think, my 10th shot on a par 5, and this ball comes out of left field, and he said, okay, well, you need to keep moving. Let's go to the next hole and wait for the people behind us to pass. And so we wait, and the people come up, and Kenn politely says, hey, I'm teaching my wife how to play golf, so why don't you guys go ahead and go in front of us? And they said, no, sorry, didn't see you out there. So Kenn politely thanked them, and we went to the next hole. And halfway through the hole, I think I'm on my 10th stroke on a par 5, and here comes another ball. And Kenn, this time, is getting a little upset. Had a couple of choice words and started reminding me the etiquette of golf, and that's just not part of the etiquette of golf. And so we waited for them to come up to us, and we would let them go forward, or try to let them go forward, but they insisted. Apologies. We went to the next hole, and then here comes another ball, and Kenn literally had to duck because it was going to hit him. So Kenn walks over to the ball, and he looks at the ball, and then he stomps on the ball. And that wasn't good enough for the ball, so he picks up the ball, and he throws it into the lake. The whole time cursing and yelling at me, that's not the etiquette of golf. So Kenn's really upset at this point, and he gets in his golf cart, and I'm trying to first not fall out of the golf cart from laughing because I've never seen Kenn this upset, and he's gonna go kick there. And I'm trying to, at one point, gain my composure and tell Kenn to calm down, it's okay. But at the same time, the hilarity of watching him get so upset that he's really gonna give him a piece of their mind, and if I don't hold him back, I think he's really gonna get in their face. And as we pull up, Kenn gives him all those choice words, and I kind of calm him down. We pull away, and I said, honey, you really showed those 75-year-old guys what you thought. They're not going to hit that ball into me anymore, I promise. So that's the only time I've ever seen Kenn have choice words for somebody and almost get into a fight, was on a golf course with 2 75-year-old men who thought it was very funny that they may hit me with a ball. So, Kenn's really a nice guy, and it's been a long road. 8 years, 8, 9, long years. You keep me on my toes. I don't get bored. But I love you. Thank you so much for coming out. I'll give the mic to Kenn if nobody else has anything to say. Anybody? Kenn has to rebuttal?
No, we got to put an end to this. I love you, baby. Hey, those 75-year-olds were built, though. They were stacked. They could have taken me out. First off, before we get going, I want to say thanks to Brent and Mike and Mark and everybody for Francis, for your kind words. I do appreciate it, and Miranda as well. I do work with some of the best radio professionals, and we do have a lot of fun at work. Yes, it's true that I've been on 3 morning shows that have all gone bye-bye. So now my wife has to put up with me telling jokes on a daily basis by herself. So I'm going to put you guys through some right now. You know, I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, you know, what does it feel like to be 50? And frankly, I really don't know. It's only been 12 hours. But from that, I kind of got thinking about it a little bit, and so I thought I would share what it's like to be 50. For instance, if you can remember when your mom could cook without a microwave, you might be 50. If you can remember saying, when gasoline gets to be $1 a gallon, I'll stop driving, you might be 50.
If you have to wake up at 2 a.m. to write this all down because you know that you won't remember it in the morning, you may be 50.
What time did you wake up to get that joke written down? If you have a picture in a photo album or on the wall with a leisure suit and it's not a Halloween party, you might be 50. If you hear me say what was on the B side of that record and you know what I'm talking about. If you can remember your dad telling you to get up and change the channel on the TV. If you ever had a discussion with anybody about which TV band was better, the Monkees or the Partridge Family, you might be 50. If you can remember when MTV actually played music. If you had a Walkman, a PDA, a map, a TV, and a phone, and none of them were connected to each other and not in your pocket, you might be 50. If Charles Manson and Ted Bundy were the biggest criminals, not Lindsay Lohan, you might be 50. And finally, if you can remember when Michael Jackson was a black man. Too soon? Too soon.
It's been a year.
You might be 50. God bless you all for coming. I appreciate it. Let's get Mentor back up here. You guys have all touched my heart. And again, as Crystal says, this is all about a big thank you to you guys, because without you and your prayers, I wouldn't be standing here making fun of